Come on, let's go out and do this real fast. And we'll like it. This is the President's desk, very famous desk, actually. Many presidents have sat behind this desk. Good stuff, right? We're just saying, all right, so nothing like the White House. You know, it's the whole deal, right? How are you?
Good to meet you.
Okay, I'm always here. Thanks, Dan.
All right. So we good to go here, Frankie? Should I wait for you?
Yeah, Frank, you want to come through?
Your son's a big fan of our website.
He's a big fan of you, yeah.
I've tried to get, even before this started, I was trying to get a retweet out of him for about 6 months.
Well, we'll do that.
He kept, well, you got me on one,
We'll
but
do
he'd
that.
DM me, I'd be like, get the old man to get a retweet and get the numbers up, man. We'll talk business.
Well, you're doing pretty well in that. process,
Yeah, so are you.
Here we are. We did have good numbers.
So I consider myself, believe it or not, apolitical. I don't consider myself wildly Republican, Democrat, kind of down in the middle. In fact, this is my first interview I've ever done. So I started at the top.
You started very well. That's good.
And I was going to give you the heads up. I don't know if you're going to remember this. You once were on Ali G's show, and you were the only one that sniffed out that it was a fake interview in the whole thing. I don't know if you remember that.
That's right.
I thought maybe you'd be like, oh, this guy's a fake.
Now,
Anyway.
were you involved with that show in some way?
No, not at all. I just watched it on TV.
But you're right. I was the only one. All
30
these
seconds, in and
guys,
out. I know.
I said, hey, this guy's a total fraud, and I left.
And everyone
then I
else
found
sits there
out.
for 6 hours. I know. I
You're
almost
the only
gave
one
that
that's ever given me credit for that.
That was a very sharp move because
thank you.
he's pretty good at that. He gets everybody.
Now, I like this interview. No matter what he does, I like this interview now, Mariana. That's right. I said, what's going on with this guy? And I just felt it was a phony deal.
Yeah.
And he said-
nobody else did it. Nobody else smelled
And
it
he
out.
said he was from British Broadcasting Corporation. They called up with everything beautiful, the voice, this is British Broadcast. And then this guy shows up. I said, this is but within a very short, like immediately. And thank you very much. You gave me
On
credit.
it.
Because I
Good.
never get credit for anything.
I'm
Dave.
pretty good. That's what I'm saying.
You're pretty good.
And,
I like
here's part of it, and I hate politics. My dad loves politics. The thing that drives me nuts is I feel like for us, which is good,
Right.
they're like, hey Dave, you're a snowflake. Hey Dave, you're a conservative, like crazy person. And almost on each side, you can predict what somebody's going to say, which drives me nuts. It's
Yeah.
like you put it in a box. So one of the things that I've been thinking about, and for all the people like me, which is I think a good amount of the country is still like, which way am I going to vote?
Right.
One of the things that I have a question for, and again, I think it matters. I'm very curious on the answer. So when the Kaepernick thing started, I was critical of it. And as it's continued, baseball players now, I heard you say, if they kneel, you'll turn the game off.
Yeah.
And we got the Black Lives Matter protests. So for me, it's like, how does somebody who's dissatisfied, in your world, what's the way for them to show it? Because we don't want them looting and doing all the stuff they're doing. To me, that's like a silent protest that is far better than going on the streets and create crime. So I'm curious, what would you do if you had an issue with the country or something to show your displeasure?
Well, I mean, you can always say you run for office, right? You become successful. You can run for a lower office. You can do things. But there are ways you get groups together. And they can be very friendly ways of doing it, very successful. I mean, you're going to have rebounds, negative rebounds, if it keeps up the way it is. Like, as an example, Portland, this is crazy. 51 days, we sent in very powerful, not military, but very strong people. The police are good, but they were told not to do anything, by the radical left mayor. No, you have to go out and you have to say, and speak your mind is good. I think speaking your mind is good, but you have to do it fairly. We are for justice, but we're for law and order. It's got to be law and order, and there is law and order. I put something out when they were starting to rip down statues. I went out, I found an old law, an old bill. You couldn't get it passed today. You get 10 years in jail, 10 years and no games, and we have a lot of people in jail right now. If you rip down a statue, a federal statue, because the states have to take care of their own, unfortunately, because I do that too. But you rip down a federal statue, you get 10 years in jail. 10 years, no, 3 months. And nothing's happened since then. It was amazing. I signed it. I had a news conference. I said, if you do it, and we were supposed to have thousands of people march on Washington that day. Nobody showed up.
How do we close the divide? Like at my age, it's like it just seems half the country hates the other half, and no matter what you say, you can't get along. So, and you're the lightning rod. There's no doubt about that. In my mind, do you agree with that? That you're like the lightning rod?
Sometimes for a purpose. I mean, but
how do we bring it together so the two sides right now that are heads can be like, you're my guy?
I think it was happening, and then we got hit by the China virus. Okay, I think it was happening. Success our country never did better. The best employment numbers in the history of our country, best unemployment numbers, African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, everybody, best unemployment numbers in history, best stock market we've ever had. Although I must tell you, as you know probably very well, the stock market's almost at the same level right now, which is a great tribute.
I wasn't watching it today. That's why I went down today. I've been killing the stock market.
But the stock market has been absolutely great.
Since
And a lot of things are happening. Great housing numbers the other day. Great everything. We're doing really well. We're trying to get rid of the rest of this pandemic. But success does it. And we were ready to do it. Because if you look at when you say Hispanic or when you say African American, Asian American, they were all working. Everybody was making a lot of money. Everybody was doing good. And it was coming together. And then China sent us this horrible, bad present, a real bad present. They could have stopped it. They should have stopped it. And we made a deal. You know, we made a trade deal with China. Mm-hmm. And it was a great deal. But it means much less to me now than it did then because I'm not happy with what they've done to the world. They stopped it going into China from Wuhan, but they didn't stop it going into Europe, the United States, and the rest of the world. So, but we were ready to do it, and the word is success, and I think we're going to have that. I think we're going to have a great next year. We're going to have, you'll be able to see the results before the election, which is interesting, because at the very beginning of November, the election's November 3rd, at the beginning of November, the numbers are going to come out for the third quarter. And I predict those numbers are going to be really great, despite the fact that Democrats want to keep their areas closed because they want the numbers to be
right.
bad.
Can
you imagine?
Yes.
I know how you feel about that.
Yep.
And part of the reason, I think a big part of the reason they do it is for politics.
I don't know that a Black Lives Matter person would be like, well, the economy, great, but we still want the president to come out, whether it be Twitter or whatever, and be like, have our back. So that's where the kneeling and things like that seems like such a small concession in the thing to be like, yep, Donald's our guy.
Yeah, I don't like the kneeling. I must be honest with you. I don't like the kneeling. I didn't like it for the NFL. I think there are many ways of showing you're unhappy because when the NFL saw what was happening, I know exactly. I know that. I've heard that actually. But and I don't know why he did in the middle of the summer. All of a sudden, sitting in a T-shirt in his basement, he came out with this thing about that nobody was even thinking about.
He spiked that. That's vintage Goodell. Nobody was talking about it, and he brought it back to the forefront.
I don't understand. He's talking in the middle of the summer. He comes out and he's sitting there, and he looked, nice, but I wouldn't say like Mariano. He looked nice in his T-shirt. Okay, I don't know if I'd look much worse than that, to be honest with you. I wouldn't wear a T-shirt. I think he would have looked better in a suit and tie.
That's why your Twitter game's strong.
No, he would have looked better in a suit and tie. If I had any advice, number one, he could have waited till at least the fall, right?
Right.
But more importantly, I would have worn a suit.
Yes.
Or a tie, or even an open shirt that's loose, not tight.
I got you.
Okay, so he came out with this thing, Dave, and everyone's saying, where did this come from now?
Right.
And the whole big thing started, and he's made a mistake.
I actually have a question on your presidential powers. So you may not know this, but during the NFL draft, he said, I'm going to do a charity auction, and somebody can sit in my basement, watch Monday Night Football with me, and the charity will go to COVID. Well, I bid and won. I spent $250,000 to win that charity. I won it fair and square. You rejected it.
Well, he wanted no part of you,
I know.
obviously.
So I don't know if you can arrest the guy for that.
No, but I think he did that was a wise move. Right?
Yeah, by him.
It was a very smart move.
That's the first nice thing we said about him.
Look, he's working hard and everything, but it's,
he's the most overpaid guy in the history of human beings.
Well, he makes a lot of money.
A lot of money for a job that a lot of people could do. All right, I have to ask this question because we followed. When you meet world leaders, you stick the handshake on them, and it looks like you're going for the power move. Is that intentional?
So before COVID, right now, I guess.
Right, now you can't. This is pre-COVID.
He's the only one I've shaken hands with in a long time. You, because you stuck your hand out. Yeah. And I'm saying, what are we doing? But I shook your hand. Yeah. You were tested?
I was tested when I came in here.
Otherwise, they'd take you out right now. Right. They'll end the interview. Right? Did you notice that? He stuck his hand out. I say, what do I do here? Rather than insult him, I said, fine.
I appreciate that.
I don't even think. Hey, I immediately ran, washed hands. But in the days from like 4 months ago, I just, people don't know that I get along really great with the world leaders. I'm tougher with the world leaders than any president's been. I've been tougher on Russia by far with the pipeline, with our military, with the oil. We're now the number one energy producer in the world. And there's nobody even close. I've been very tough with Russia. I've been very tough with, China. Nobody's been tough like me with China. And that's not to be tough. That's because for years they've taken advantage of so many countries, not those two only. The whole world, our allies, NATO, the whole world has taken advantage of our country. But despite that, I have a very good relationship with leaders.
Because of the handshake?
I'll shake. I shake their hand. I hug them. I this.
Power shake.
No, I have a lot of great. Abe of Japan. Look, they've been ripping us off for years and years. They send the cars in. There's no tax. We send a car to them. They say we don't take your cars. This is the kind of a thing that we've put up with. We defend these countries. We get nothing for it. And I've ended a lot of the craziness that's gone on.
Do you love doing Twitter?
There are times when I love it.
Yeah.
Too much sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Where's Dan? I think we have.
Right there.
Dan, how many? What's our number now total?
207 million.
Can you believe it?
What happens to this Twitter account? Is it yours when it's over?
Well,
Do
it's
you lose
mine.
those?
It's mine, and I don't know if I'll ever use it again, but it certainly was good. It's a platform. Look, we have fake news. You don't know about that, but we have fake news out there.
I very much know about that. That exists in my world as well.
And then Dave, that we have a voice. We have a very big voice. When you have the kind of numbers that we have, you're able to get the word out in an honest word, and that's important. So it's been very important for me.
Do you sometimes, because I follow you on Twitter, and I know I do this, but I'm not the my nickname is El Prez, but
That's true.
I'm a company, so we're doing it. Do you ever tweet out and be like, wake up, be like, oh man, I wish I didn't send that one out?
Often, too often.
Yeah.
It used to be in the old days before this, you'd write a letter and you'd say, this letter's really bad. You put it on your desk and then you go back tomorrow and you say, oh, I'm glad I didn't send it, right? But we don't do that with Twitter, right? We put it out instantaneously. We feel great. And then you start getting phone calls. Did you really say this? I say, what's wrong with that? And you find a lot of things. You know what I find? It's not the tweets, it's the retweets that get you in trouble.
You've been caught with retweeting. People be like, oh, you just retweeted this crazy person. So you don't even look. You just press the retweet.
Well,
you just fire from the hip.
You see something that looks good, and you don't investigate it, and you don't look at what's on the helmet exactly, right, which is in miniature, and you don't blow it up. And sometimes but I have found almost always, it's the retweets that get you in trouble.
I've seen that a little bit with you. So we got opening day today.
Good.
So Fauci's throwing out the first pitch. You give him any tips? You think he's going to be able to? He seems like a little guy. I've never seen him. You expecting a good pitch here?
Well, they say he was a good basketball player, and he is a very nice
How tall
guy.
is he?
He's not tall, but he was a fast little guard, and they say he was a good basketball player. And he's actually a very nice guy. We don't always agree on everything. He'd like to do things that I don't like to do, but ultimately I make the decision. But we make it all a group of people. And he's been here for like 45 years, for many, many years. And he's a nice man, actually.
So I started I'm a sports guy.
Good,
The
sure.
company that bought us, Penn National, they're a gambling company, so sports gambling is a big part of what we do. I switched to the stock market, actually,
Right.
day trading. So Fauci's on my X list because every time he talks and says the country should stay inside, my stocks tank. So I don't like that aspect of it.
No, he'd like to see it closed up for a couple of years, but that's okay because I'm president. So I'll say, well, I appreciate your opinion. Now give me another opinion, somebody, please.
Overruled. Yeah, you overruled.
No, well, you have to. And we're open and we're doing well. And I just had a press conference about opening the schools. You got to open the schools. They have a stronger immune system even than you have or I have.
Well, that's not saying
The
much
kids,
for me.
that's not saying much.
Yeah, no, I got bad.
But they do. They have it. It's amazing. You look at the percentage. It's a tiny percentage of 1%. And in that one case, I looked at a couple of cases. If you have diabetes, if you have problems with something, but the kids are in great shape. So we want to open the schools, and we're opening the country. And we had great numbers announced the other day. And 2 weeks ago, we had the biggest number of jobs we've ever had. And the month before that, we had the same thing. A lot of good things are happening, and I think it looks like a V. We have a lot of people that would like to see their states closed. I have a feeling on November 4th they'll open them up. I think they want to do it for political reasons. But we're doing well. The polls are starting to really shape up. Dave, we were doing great. We were sailing. George Washington would have had a hard time beating us. And then when the China virus came in, all of a sudden, it's a dampener.
Right.
It really is.
Well,
It's a
COVID's
downer.
bad. Yeah.
Well, it's a downer, though, and, psychologically. And it went down, and now we're really starting to do well. We're looking really good in a lot of different places.
I'm sure you've been asked this. It's one of the questions that I had when I was thinking what I would ask you here, because you, theoretically, for somebody like me who's sports, entertainment, having fun, you had the dream life, seemingly.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that's like, I wonder if he ever, I know the answer is going to be no, regrets it. Because now, I mean, you're the most famous person in the world. My guess is nobody ever said, hey, I don't like Donald Trump before he became president. But now everyone has an opinion, and your life has changed forever when seemingly you had the dream life beforehand.
I was in so many rap songs.
I know.
Like 79 or something. I was in every rap. This is before I did this, right? It's a very interesting thing that you say, because the best day in my life in terms of business and life and everything was the day before I announced I'm running for president. Everything was good. The company was good. I had finished up a lot of jobs that were very successful. And then I said, I want to do this. Now, I'm really glad I did, but I was treated very unfairly with fake Russia, Russia, and Ukraine, all fake stuff. It's a very vicious business. Somebody said, who's the toughest in the world to deal with? Is it Russia? Is it China? Could it be North Korea? I said, no, the toughest is the United States. It's the toughest to deal with. When you look at what I have to do, I have to focus on the big picture, but I also have to focus. I have so many people on the left, or call them Democrats, call them whatever you want. And then you look at what they're doing with cities. Every city is run by a liberal Democrat, and they're going to hell. And we have to do something. We just sent people into Chicago. We sent people into Portland, as we said. We're sending people into New York to help out. It's incredible. But I love doing it. But there was this, phony deal that I was devastated that when I won, because I couldn't have my life. I had a great life, I did. One thing that happened, I was going into a thing called the Robin Hood Foundation. I'll never forget it. It was just about the night I announced or whatever. And my wife looked at me, she said, I hear people booing. And she was with me for a long time. We've been together a long time. She said, some people are booing. I said, yeah, but some people are also clapping wildly. I said, no. She said, you know what? I've been with you a long time. I've never heard anyone boo you. This was right after I started being the politician. And it meant something, because I said, it's the first time in my life I was ever booed. You know the story.
Right,
I'd go to Yankee Stadium, people would go. I had it was close to who's 100%, but it was pretty close. And now, I would say this, I have more fervor on the one side, and I have far more animosity on the other side.
That's the vibe I get. This is my DNA, but I'm not president. I feel like so many interviews, they're always coming from an agenda, positive or negative. And what I notice, I think, is you come at you hard, you just come back harder. And that's a very different thing for the president. I mean, I'm the president of Barstool, but people would say, is it presidential? Is it not? And you just do your thing and it wins. I've wondered that. Like, here's a hypothetical. If the perfect candidate, let's not say Republican, Democrat, came along and said, if we make him president, this country is going to be prosperous, everyone's going to get along, would you step aside?
I mean, I don't know that such a person exists.
Probably not.
And I should say, yes, absolutely I would, okay? So let me say it that way, because that's a much more politically correct. Absolutely.
You're not known to be politically correct.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way, because it just doesn't, unfortunately. But I really believe success, we were there. Everybody was working. Everybody was just, probably you, I don't know how you're doing now, but you were probably doing better 4 months ago.
Well, I got into the stock market right when it went up. So
okay, well, you got in at the right time. But a lot of people that had the 401ks, I mean, they're doing phenomenally, but a lot of people sold stock. And now they're saying, I missed it. And I said to people, don't sell, just don't sell. Because the foundation is so strong, don't sell. But the people that really lost in terms of economic are the people that got out. The people that stayed in, they stayed with me, they're doing great. And we're almost at record highs.
Okay, the last thing, I'm going to wrap this up. And this, we ask for permission. You can say no if you want to do it. My dad and I have had debates forever. He's not the biggest fan of yours. What I want to do is kind of a prank. I just told him, he doesn't know I'm even here. But we've talked a lot. I want to call him, FaceTime him, and just, he'd die if he saw that I was with you.
Go ahead. You can do it quickly, right?
Yeah, but it'll take 2 seconds. He knows it's coming. This is going to be...
oh, he does. That's bad.
No,
that's too bad.
No, this is going to be absolutely great. Let me get the thing here. I have it all set. This will take 2 seconds. Dad, this is going to be...
Is he a good dad?
He's a great dad.
Good.
All right, we'll put you on. We'll do it.
Don't worry about socially distancing.
No, I'll come from this. Hey, I got a question for you. What would you ask this guy, Dad?
I know. Trista sent me something, so I'm not shocked.
The goal was to shock. We've had a very good interview.
And you have a very talented son. Good guy.
Really?
That's all he's got.
He's honest.
All right, he's
You have an honest thing. You
All
have an
right.
honest thought.
I was wondering why you were pinning me down. Mr. President, he never calls me. So
That's no good.
There it is.
That's
All right.
no
I
good.
haven't heard from him unsolicited in a long time.
Well, there you go. You just need a meeting with the
Something
president.
was going on, sir. I knew something was going on, and I'm not shocked, although I didn't expect to see your face just now.
It's
but
great
I'm
to
not-
see you.
but Can you get him to call me a little more
I'm going to
regularly?
put a lot of pressure on him. He'll call you
right.
today in a little
Thank
while.
you. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, Dad.
Great to meet
Thank
you.
you, sir.
He handled that better than I thought he would. Thank you.
Good. I was a
he
little worried about
well,
it.
he
He
got
was
tipped
nice.
off, so this must have been leaked.
He was
I don't know
nice.
how. Yeah,
Dave,
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh,
Great-
can't do it.
A great honor. A great honor.
Yeah, I almost did. Thank you very much.